Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. As you can tell, I do as I'm told. Now I'm going to test you numerology skills by asking you to think about the magic 7. Okay? Most of you will know that 7 is quite a number in all sorts of themes, religions, and I'm sure that you can compress numbers as well. So, if we think about 2014, all right, I'm just giving you 2014, you drop the 0, 14, 2 times 7. Okay, that's just by way of example, and we're going to carry on. So 2014 will be a milestone and hopefully a magic year in many respects. It will mark the 100th anniversary of the First World War back in 1914. It will mark the 70th anniversary, drop the 0, 7, of the Bretton Woods Conference that actually gave birth to the IMF. And it will be the 25th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. 25th. Okay. It will also mark the 7th anniversary of the financial market jitters that quickly turned into the greatest global economic calamity since the Great Depression. The crisis still lingers. Yet, optimism is in the air. We've left the deep freeze behind us, and the horizon looks just a bit brighter. So my hope and my wish for 2014 is that after those 7 miserable years, weak and fragile, we have 7 strong years. Now, I don't know whether the G7 will have anything to do with it, or whether it will be the G20. I certainly hope that the IMF will have something to do with it.
A day of celebration as Queen Elizabeth II becomes the first British royal to serve for 70 years. Today, kicking off a 4-day nationwide party celebrating with festivities in London and across the UK. That's where we find CNBC's Tanya Breyer. Tanya, big party today. How's it going so far?
Becky, good morning from London.
Welcome to the Cryptoteacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And it's very important to understand that we are in Shemitah year. And we're having the Royal Jubilee, the power of 7. And we know every 7 years you're supposed to be forgiven for your debts. And what does the NWO do? They forgive themselves and put the debt on the masses. It is amazing on what they're able to get away with. But we have the globe is definitely asleep. Now we have CZ on CNBC. Says that he holds no fiat. He's only in crypto. And we know that's not true. But we know CZ is definitely a puppet. Binance is moving adoption fast forward all over the emerging markets. Now partnering with the United Nations. We know right now crypto is speculation. Like CZ said, some people trade, some people build. And I would add some people do both. But we know Shemitah year is all about building. And she asked CZ a great question. Why would you spend something that you know is going up? And this is all about the Hegelian dialectic. This is to put the masses in confusion. But we know when it comes to the Fed, they control the supply and demand. That's the reason why gold is not at $100,000. But we know crypto is going to hit another bottom, and then it's going to rise back up to the top because of the 4th Industrial Revolution. The same way if we look at Berkshire. The same way we look at Amazon. The same way we look at Google. All these stocks pumped and dumped on their way up. They've done it several times. And all those investors sold at the high, waited for the drop back down, went up, sold at the high again. We know how this game is played. That's the reason why we have hedge fund guys in the game. They're there to take your money. And then we have Biden getting ready to prepare for that carbon footprint we know is coming. So therefore, they can track your every move. And remember, the crypto teacher told you because he knows. When it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
I understand that certainly, markets are going to fluctuate, and there's not necessarily anything unusual about what's happened here, but the pace of the gains were so great, and there was such a rush of adoption from the investment side that I just wonder right now if, in fact, a lot of people are a little bit caught short in terms of their expectations for what Bitcoin would do. And just to get to, to my point, when the talk was about adoption for the past couple of years, you'd ask for specifics, and mostly it would be about institutions wanting to allocate capital to crypto as opposed to technology solutions or anything else, maybe in the way of payments. So what do you think is the state of development right now there along those fronts?
Yeah, I think institutions come in, that's just more for like whether they want to get exposure to the price volatility of crypto investments, etc. But in terms of use cases or killer apps, over the last couple of years, we've seen NFTs, which is a killer app for artists to monetize their work globally. And artists get very good value for their work. I was just talking with an artist in Malaysia yesterday, and normally he can only sell a piece of art for $10,000. Now using NFTs, he can get $100,000 for his art. So he's not purely in NFTs now. Blockchain fundraising, ICOs, IEOs, IDOs, depending on how you call it. But when Ukraine wanted donations, they asked for it in crypto. They didn't ask for it in euros. And if you look at the donations, some of them are $50, $10. You can't do that with international transfers. DeFi. So all of these are new use cases that cannot be done in traditional finance. So there is a lot of people trading on the volatility of crypto, but that's the same as stock markets. Some people trade and some people build. So we see both.
ACZ, I think one of the biggest questions is are cryptos currencies or are they investments? Because if they're currencies, it makes sense to buy a burrito with them. If they're investments, it doesn't. I would never spend part of my stock to buy pizza or to buy a burrito or something like that. Would you use Bitcoin or another cryptocurrency to buy a burrito?
I do, and I very often use BNB to buy things. I don't sell BNB to US dollars and then buy some stuff. There's a few concepts here. There's the mentality of buckets of money. So I can cover off a bucket to store it in some investments, and that's my investment. I don't spend that. That's fine. But if I spend that, I can replenish it using. If I was going to spend fiat cash, I can spend crypto and then replenish that with my cash that I was going to spend anyway. So it's all the same buckets of money.
But it's not. I mean, if you think crypto is going up from here, you would never spend it. If I think it's going to be worth more a year from now, a month from now, even 10 years from now, why would I use something that's more valuable than $1 to buy something that I can use $1 to buy?
That's assuming that you have dollars. For me, I don't have dollars. Everything's in crypto. So when I need to spend money, I need to spend some money somewhere. And for me, I'm all in crypto. And when you can spend crypto, you don't have to think about selling crypto. Crypto is my money. And
but you're in a rare case, right? You're a rare person that is walking around with no cash, just crypto. Most people are using their dollars to buy crypto if they want to be investors in these things. That's what I mean. It's just really weird to look at something as a currency and an investment when, if you're a true believer and think that this is really going a lot higher, it doesn't make any sense to be spending this stuff. I get in your position, you don't have any dollars, so you've got to convert something or spend something to do that. But it's just never made sense to me to look at it as both those buckets at the same time.
Yes, but you can also keep a portion of your spending money in crypto so that you can pay for things remote, like you can pay for things across the world, which are much cheaper to do using cryptos. Buying a burrito, you can choose to. So as long as it can be done, like I'm definitely a small percentage of people, but there's enough number of us that I know quite a lot of friends who do this. So I mean, it's a balance. Yeah.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance, agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York. From COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.